Oh, I forgot I was recording. But how is it going, PC Nation? Welcome back to a brand new video. This video is going to be about the silent film industry. So, why am I talking about that? This video is going to be called Why I Like the Silent Film Industry. So, why am I talking about the silent film industry? Why am I talking about the silent film? Can't speak. Why am I talking about the silent film industry today? Well, because a lot of silent characters while I was growing up. There's been a lot of characters in cartoons that never spoke before or ever. Like, for example, Mr. Noodle from that one show. Don't want to mention it because I don't want to be considered this video for kids. But back to what I was saying. The silent film industry in a whole is what made the movies what they are today. Before there was Technicolor, before there was speaking, there was silent film. Silent film was made in like the 1920s, around there. Well, just the 1900s in general, there was silent film. And that's when movie theaters was getting made anyways. Movies wasn't really a thing. The first movie was considered like a race. It was 2 seconds long. It was something garden. It was, it was a garden race. It was like a horse race. It was like 2 seconds long. That's considered the first ever movie in the world. But there was no movie theaters. The very first long films were silent films. And one actor that comes to mind that is the king of silent films is Charlie Chaplin. No, not the other guy that he kind of looks like, Charlie Chaplin. He is an actor from London that really starred in the full motion films. People saw them, people paid money to go see them. They were in movie theaters in the 1900s. Like I said, movie theaters weren't a thing into 1900s. 1900s, the 20th century was really the experimental century. And then we have the roaring 20s. It's when everything started coming in play. Movie theaters started coming into play in the 1920s as well. But the silent films was like the root of what movies are today. A lot of people don't know who Charlie Chaplin is. If you ask a normal person, I'm a normal person, but if you ask someone that's not into history like I am, because I love making history videos, and, well, I don't make normal history videos, but I want to make more history videos. I've only made one, or two, because it was part two. It's 2 parts. But I want to try to make more history videos, and the reason this came up in my head, because I was thinking about Mr. Noodle, just randomly, he just came out of nowhere. I was just thinking about childhood stuff, and Mr. Noodle, who was a character in my childhood, silent character. There's been a lot of silent characters. There's a lot of silent characters out there. Mr. Noodle, the Peanuts parents, all parents of Peanuts, they can be considered silent characters is because they don't speak. They make noise. They don't speak. Noise. Silent films, all they had was noise, music, and some noise, and that's pretty much it. No speaking. No speaking at all. You saw the people, you saw the people, you saw the personality. You just didn't see no speaking from silent films. That's why silent films are such a great medium. If you like, for example, great movies out there, Endgame for one, the Marvel movie Endgame. Root, if you go way back, 1900s, the last decade, silent films. That's where movies really come from. It's something like that. You don't see talk films in the beginning in the 1900s because there was no technology for that. Probably the Roaring 20s, you probably saw it at the end of the Roaring 20s, close to the end, is when we got talk films. Like the 1927 was considered, I think the Jazzman was considered is considered the first ever talk film that had actual words in it. But before that, there was no words. Everything was still black and white after when the first talk film came out. Technicolor wasn't a thing until like the 1960s. You still saw black and white, but you didn't see no script. No script was a thing into after the Roaring Twenties, at the end of the Roaring Twenties, to be precise. But never mind all that. The reason I like silent films so much is because you still see silent characters around. Silent comedy is still around. In some shows, there's still silent characters. There's a character that don't speak. If you still see it today, I don't think you see it as much in 2020 as you did in the early 2000s or the 1960s, 1970s, 90s, carried into the 2000s. Because like I said, I saw Mr. Noodle, who was a silent character in the early 2000s. He's still around on Sesame Street. Oh, said the name. Sorry. Yeah, Sesame Street. He's still around. This video is not considered for kids. It's a history video, so I was not going to say the name, but if they flag it for not made for kids, let them. They probably won't, because it's not. It's me. It's a vlog. But never mind all that. He's still around on Sesame Street. He is. He was around in the 60s, and I watched Sesame Street as a kid. Who didn't? It was a show, and I had PBS Kids back then, growing up, when I went to my aunt's and uncle's house. That's how I saw Mr. Noodle. That's why I like silent films. Because it was just funny. It was just his personality. That's what made the silent film industry, was the personality of the people. Whatever they did is comedy. It was comedy. And a lot of people probably don't know Charlie Chaplin that much. If you look at someone that studied film, they studied Charlie Chaplin. He's the king of silent films. He's the king. He's one of the best, and one of the people that made movies what they are today. A lot of people don't know who he is, though. That's the thing. That's the thing with Charlie Chaplin. A lot of people don't know who he was, who he is. If you ask a normal person that doesn't really study history, or doesn't study film, or never did a report on him, or never looked him up in their life, they probably won't know who he is. But they watch movies almost every time there's a new movie coming out. Or a new genre movie, or a new movie sequel. That's the thing. But he's like the king of like the film industry back. He's a funny dude. He made so many silent films in the 1900s. All through the 1900s, he made silent films. He made some talk films. He started to talk in some films, but he made his fame through not saying anything. And that's why I like silent films, because it's just be yourself. You don't have to speak. People don't understand that's where movies came from. If you search with history of movies, that's where it came from. History of filmmaking. That's where it came from, right there. Silent films was a brand new thing. Probably the first ever drama. What's a famous silent film? That Dracula one. I forgot the vampire's name, but that Dracula film. It's a silent film. It's a silent film. It's considered a silent film. It's a famous film. Tufasu, whatever his name is. That dude. Zofarato. That vampire. That basically Dracula. That Dracula. He's a Dracula. Well, he is Dracula. That Dracula film. It's a silent film. It's considered a silent film. And it's a great film too. It's a great movie. And I enjoy it. I've watched it. It's good. I think the silent film industry is good because it's where movies came from. It's where movies started their roaring 20s silent films. After that, we started getting talking films. Then Technicolor came in like 10, 20 years later. 1930s was talking films. Everyone was doing talking films. 1940s, still black and white. 50s, Technicolor. Like, that's why we evolve. Because the reason it was silent is not because, it's because of the technology back then. It's because it's something different. It's the personality of the people. You can do a movie and not say a single word, and you can be the best character in the dang movie. You can be an actor in a movie and not say a single fucking word, and you're the best actor in the movie. Because your personality. How you portray a character is how the movie is successful. That's why silent films were so successful, is because the things Charlie Chaplin did to become the king. I consider him the king of silent films because he was super funny. If you ever see clips of him, there is clips out there. You just gotta go searching. He's just funny. He plays the role perfect. That's what slap comedy and like silent comedy is basically. It's if you play the role perfectly, the movie will be perfect. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this history type video. If you want more history videos, comment that you want more because I like doing them. You can call me a history nerd. I don't care because I am. I love history. History is one of my favorite subjects in school. I don't like school that much, but one thing that always got my attention was history. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, press the share button, press the like button, press the red shiny subscribe button, press the bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'll see you guys next video. What's your favorite type of genre of movies? Put them in the comments below. I'll see you guys next video. Goodbye.